You're listening to the Platform Launchers podcast. I'm John Stange, and as always, it's great to have you with us this week. I'm so thankful that we have the opportunity to talk about online platform development each week as we gather together. And this week, we're going to be talking about monetization and the specific approach that we're going to be taking this week. We're going to be talking about developing and, as I'm calling it, doubling down on your two top sources of online income. So start thinking of what those two sources might be. And we're going to talk a little bit about developing those and really doubling down on them. So what I mean by that is really getting focused, focusing our energy, focusing our time on building and developing those top two sources of income. So just have that in the back of your mind as we look at our subject tonight, because I really hope that this will be helpful for you, especially if you're looking to build an online platform and if you're looking to monetize an online platform. And I'll even say this. People develop online platforms for multiple reasons. I think for most of us, our platforms are born out of a desire to help people while communicating a message that we feel passionate about. So we're trying to do both things, right? We're trying to help other people, but we're also trying to communicate something that we feel very strongly about. And personally speaking, I can say that a motivation to be helpful is something that's true for both of the platforms that I facilitate. My faith-based platform, my business platform, I want to be helpful. I want to encourage people. I want people to experience life change through the content that I'm trying to produce or the content that I'm creating. And even though most of us would probably say that our primary motivation ties back to that desire to be helpful, I also think it's wise for us in most contexts to consider using our platforms to generate some level of income as well. I do not think it is greedy for people to do that. I actually think it's wise for several reasons. It's wise to monetize a platform for several reasons. First reason I would suggest is this: if you can earn an income from your online platform, you will be more likely to create additional content because you'll have more time for it. And that additional time can be used to produce more content. And you will have that time if you're earning an income. So it just kind of goes hand in hand. But a second reason that I think that it's wise for us to consider earning an income from our platform is that if you earn an income online, you'll have more flexibility to do things with your family. I have noticed that that's one of the direct and very noticeable benefits of earning an online income. It just frees up time, and that time can be used to do things with your family. Extremely important. Number three on my list is if you earn an income online, you'll have more time to devote to things like programs or causes or ministries that you feel passionate about. And that's something that I think is vitally important in my life. It's something that I want to be devoted to. And so earning an income online allows me to free up time to be able to serve in a variety of ways with programs and causes and ministries that I care about, including our local church. Now, earning an income from our online platforms, I think that's a goal for many of us, something that many of us are aspiring to do, but we're all at different stages of achieving that. And I'll even say that within our members club here in Platform Launchers, there are people at different stages of development. So there are some people who have just earned their very first dollar online, and that is so exciting. It's something that we celebrate. There are also people who are now at the point where they're earning a part-time income from their online platform, which is significant. And then there are others who are earning not just a full-time income, but an above average income through the content that they're creating. And again, we celebrate that. We celebrate each of these stages because every stage is an important milestone that few people ever bother attempting to reach. Most people just kind of dream about this stuff and they don't actually take the concerted action that they need to take to be able to achieve these things. But I'm really grateful that through our members club and Platform Launchers, we get to surround ourselves with people who are actually taking action on these things. And in my years of interacting with people who earn a living online, there's a pattern I've noticed within the business practices of many of the higher earners. So think about some of the people you know that you would put in a category of saying, all right, that's somebody that's earning a higher than normal income online. And there is a pattern or a trait that I would say is pretty common with those people. From what I can see, most of them stay focused. So let me say that again. They stay focused. And what I mean by that is this: instead of jumping around to 10 different things at once, they stay committed to developing one or two streams of income before adding anything additional. So they stay very focused on that. And then once they gain traction in those areas, and I would also say in many cases, they then develop systems to make some of those income streams automatic, then they start to add a third stream. And then they start to add a fourth stream, et cetera, et cetera. In fact, you've probably seen this statistic, but most millionaires actually have 7 streams of income, 7 streams. And yet most common people in this world, most people that are just going about life the way that, I would say is just the common or average way to go about life. And I've certainly done this myself. Most people have one stream of income. And I can remember when I had one stream of income, how nervous that made me, because you think, all right, I'm just one decision or one event or one interruption from that one stream going away. I did not like how that felt. I especially didn't like how it felt when that one stream went away. But those that really get ahead, I think eventually what they learn to do is they develop multiple streams of income over time. So these are things that they're not developed on the same day, but over time, they just make steady progress, developing one, trying to make it somewhat automatic or systematized, and then adding another one once that one is ready to kind of live on its own. And if the thought of earning an income online intrigues you, just want to ask a quick question. How do you plan to do it? And maybe I could also ask this: does your platform have any streams of income in place? And if so, which two would you say are producing the best results for you so far? Now, if you know my story, my first 2 sources of online income were book royalties and the money that I made from recording voiceovers. I recorded voiceovers regularly. I did that for a videographer that I was friends with, and that ended up being a pretty useful source of online income. I was able to digitally deliver that. But book royalties and voiceover recording, those were my first 2. And the book royalties remain an ongoing source of passive income. That's not something that goes away. I mean, you have to promote those things from time to time and revive them and have conversations about them with different people or on podcasts or whatever, just to make sure that those books stay on the forefront of people's attention. But book royalties are an ongoing source of passive income. It doesn't automatically go away. And the voiceovers, they operated a little differently, but they helped me produce a good source of linear income by offering a specialized service. So I was offering just a specialized service based on a task that I was able to do, and it produced a good source of linear income. It's not something you get paid on over and over and over again. You only get paid on that once, but at the same time, it was very useful and very helpful. So let's be really, really practical, because I'm assuming that those of you that are listening to this podcast, or those of you that are viewing this via video, are probably even looking for some ideas, some ways that you can monetize your online platform that might be practical and might be useful. And I know our members club, by the way, they're live here on the call. We've got people from all over the United States, people from Australia, people from quite a few different places that are at different stages of monetizing their online platforms. Some have been doing this for a while, and some have just literally started within days or weeks. And so I want to talk about a few sources of online income that you might want to consider exploring if this is something that you're considering doing. If online monetization of a platform is something that you would like to see taking place. These are some of the typical areas. I'm going to give you a list of 10 here, and then I'm going to unpack a few of them. But these are some of the typical areas that online content creators tend to focus on. So let's start with number 1. And I'm not going to go into a whole bunch of details about each of these at first. I'm just going to give you the list. So number 1 is coaching. So just offering coaching services related to whatever topic you are really focused on, but coaching can be a very good source of online income. Second on my list is affiliates. And I'm going to share a little bit more about this in a few minutes, but affiliates is basically, if you're an affiliate, you promote somebody else's product or somebody else's course or something along those lines. And as a result, you earn a commission by producing something else that somebody else made. All right, a third form of online income that's worth looking into is crowdfunding. So crowdfunding, we'll talk about this a little bit more in just a second, but crowdfunding is the idea where those that utilize your content help support your content by giving directly to you, the content creator. A fourth option is services, and specialized services can be a really useful way to earn an income online. You could deliver those services digitally, and it tends to become a great way to earn an online income. Number 5 on my list are courses. Even before I hosted a membership community here with Platform Launchers, I used to create courses related to platform development, and I used to help people set up online platforms basically through courses. But then over time, I realized that that was something that I also wanted to really develop a membership community around, because I felt like that was a great way to help inform and inspire and help people develop accountability. But courses are something I still love doing, even though I have a membership community. I still love offering courses, and I already have something in mind for my next course. So keep your ears open, because there's going to be something in a few months that I intend on releasing that I think will be highly, highly beneficial. Certainly hope it will be. Number 6 on my list, though, is advertising. I was surprised when I first started getting advertising for my blog in particular, but people have asked to advertise on my blog and have paid to advertise on my blog. Also, my newsletter. Advertising is also something that now I enjoy with my podcasts, and that's become something that it can be really a very generous, very lucrative way to earn an income through advertising. Number 7 on my list is royalties. And typically you receive royalties from some form of intellectual property that gets resold over and over again. And most typically, what I see in the royalty space is basically people earning royalties from creating books. So I'm mainly talking about book royalties, as I mentioned that there, but I also know that there are people that create other forms of content that they can license and have royalties that they're earning on. I have a friend who has a few plays and musicals that he's put together years ago, and they're mainly related to the Christmas season, and he's been earning royalties on that for, I would say at least 10 years. He's been earning some royalties on that. So royalties can be a great source of online income. Number 8 on my list, I already alluded to when I was talking about courses, but memberships. If you can develop a useful membership around the concept of your platform, that can be a great source of online income. And there's, some memberships are very high priced. I see that sometimes. Some are extremely low price. Some are somewhere in between. Kind of have to decide based on what you're offering, what a fair amount to charge for that happens to be. But memberships can be really, really useful. In fact, there are several people in Platform Launchers that already host their own memberships, and Platform Launchers itself follows a membership model. Very, very useful model to follow. Number 9 on my list this is kind of two things that I'm merging into one, but speaking and webinars are two things that I'm merging into one thought here. and that's really related to the fact that a lot of speaking opportunities in this day and age can be delivered digitally. And so, a lot of things that I used to get asked to speak in person at, people will be happy to, make that something that could be delivered through a webinar. And so I've done a lot of webinars lately, but also speaking opportunities have come from my online platform. And I'm sure that there are others on the call here right now that can testify to that. And those of you listening via the podcast, I'm sure some of you have experienced that as well. And then a 10th option would be either group coaching or masterminds. Typically, I hear these referred to as masterminds, but it's like an ongoing small group that is focused on developing what you're doing. Now, of those potential sources of income, which catch your attention right away? Are there some that interest you more than others? I will confess that at present, I'm earning an income from nearly all of them. There's one of them on that list that I'm not highly invested in right now, but I'm about to add it. So I might as well just say that I'm earning an income from just about all of them or all of them. And that income continues to grow as long as I stay focused on something very specific, providing helpful content and services. I think those that focus on the money, they lose their focus. I think that ends up being not a very healthy focus. But if you focus on providing helpful content and helpful services, I tend to think that the income will come right along with that. But if you're just starting out, I would recommend that you select no more than 2 sources of income to develop and double down on, to really focus on. And if you're in the early stages of building an audience, you might want to make your selection of which 2 to focus on from among the first 4 options that are on my list that I just shared with you. And just to remind you, those first 4 are coaching, affiliates, crowdfunding, and services. And the reason I recommend those are good at any stage of your platform. But if you're just starting out, I recommend those because those streams are, in my opinion, some of the easier ones to develop, even if your audience is at an early stage. So you might feel like you have a small audience. And sometimes I hear people say, oh, I have a small audience, I can't monetize my platform yet. And I think that's not true, because through coaching or affiliates or crowdfunding or services, you most certainly can monetize your online platform. And if you already have decent connections in place and maybe a larger audience, but you really haven't monetized things, you could start with one of the other income streams on the list. But either way, I mean, I suggested 10 main ways that people tend to earn an income online. What I would recommend is don't try to add all 10 right when you're getting started. Pick 1 or 2. Now, let me highlight the 4 that I just referenced there: coaching, affiliates, crowdfunding, and services. And the reason I placed coaching at the start of this list is because it's a higher priced option that could be offered on day one without producing products that take longer to create. So books, courses, things like that, those things take a little longer to create. And so if you don't have time to create a book or to develop a course, focus on coaching. And depending on what you charge, you could find yourself earning a healthy part-time or full-time income online just from coaching. Even if you have no other streams of income set up, even if the only stream of income you set up with your online platform is coaching, you really could develop a healthy full or part-time income from it. In fact, I know people personally who make 6-figure incomes from online coaching, and they don't have many other monetization strategies in place. And they make 6 figures just from online coaching. And I don't know her personally, but I know of at least one person who took her coaching offer into 7-figure territory over the course of just a few years. It was just from coaching. So it's something to consider. Also, if you're just starting out, let's say coaching was one of the things that you wanted to do, but you wanted to add one more, you can also begin your early stages of platform monetization with higher ticket affiliate offers. So think about some affiliate offers that you might want to consider. And by the way, I would only recommend endorsing things that you actually use and feel good about, because first of all, that's the ethical thing to do, and people can usually sniff out someone who is being dishonest. But if there are things that you could easily recommend, look and see if they have an affiliate offer that goes with them, because you're probably going to be recommending these things anyway. And wouldn't it be nice to make a little extra income from your recommendations? Some of you know that the most recent affiliate relationship that I've created is with Kajabi Software. I love using Kajabi. I was able to build the entire Platform Launcher's site and business with that one tool. And so people know when we're talking about platform development, if they want an all-in-one something, I enthusiastically recommend it to others. And I think people can tell that I'm genuine because I'm using it myself, and I'm pretty excited about how easy it makes developing something that is just an all-in-one thing where I've got a membership community and all sorts of other tools, but it's not cheap to use. And so maybe, you don't necessarily, if you're not going to go full tilt into some of the things that I'm doing, I don't necessarily recommend Kajabi if you're trying to keep things on a more simple side for starters. But when the day comes and you're looking for that all-in-one thing and you're ready to spend some money on something, I totally recommend Kajabi. And here's the thing. When people sign up for Kajabi via my affiliate link, they get a free trial of the software. So that's certainly nice. and I earn roughly $59.70. And by the way, that's $59.70 per month for as long as the person is using Kajabi. That means, so let's put it in yearly terms. This is kind of how I like to think about this. That means I'm giving myself a $716.40 yearly raise with every person who joins Kajabi through my affiliate link. Now, if just 100 people sign up over time, that's a yearly income just from being a Kajabi affiliate of $71,640. And that's just one of my affiliate relationships. By the way, I do not have 100 Kajabi affiliates yet. I'm going to add the word yet to that because I think someday it's entirely possible. But that's just one of my affiliate relationships. I'm also a big fan of Amazon Associates and other referral programs that operate similarly. But that's something that really early in your online platform development, that's a strategy that you could utilize to monetize just by recommending the things that you like and the things that you use and the things that you have no hesitation endorsing to others. Look and see if those things that you're using already have an affiliate program. And if they do, then sign up for it so that you can earn a little income from recommendations that you're going to be giving to people anyway. All right, a third way to monetize, even if it's day one of your platform, is crowdfunding. I think crowdfunding is a great way to get the financial engine behind your platform just revving. I think that there's a variety of ways to do this, but you can set something up with PayPal. You could set something up with Patreon. You could use one of my favorites, Buy Me a Coffee. So you go to buymeacoffee.com and you could set that up. And basically what you're doing is you're allowing your fans and your followers to express their appreciation with a small gift. And believe me when I say, if you keep producing helpful content, people will say thank you by participating in your crowdfunding options. I happened to meet, this is exactly a year ago, two people who had a current events podcast, and they were monetizing it primarily through crowdfunding, and it was a full-time six-figure income that two people were earning, and they happened to be using Patreon, and they did that to offer just some like exclusive or special content that people could access if they became a patron of theirs through Patreon, and they monetized their current events podcast through that. So it was kind of neat to see them do that, and they were doing really well with it. But one other option that you might want to focus on during the early days of your platform is services. Now, I mentioned the service that I offered. It wasn't really directly related to my platform, but it was something I was able to digitally deliver. So the main service I was offering in the early days of what I'm doing here online was voiceover work. Like coaching, it did not produce recurring income, but it paid rather well each time I did it. And it definitely did not consume as much time as a traditional job might require. So just be thinking for a second, what kind of service could you offer your audience that can be delivered online? If it can be delivered digitally, you can do it from anywhere. So I know people who do things like editing or designing or writing or recording, both audio and video. These are all things that can be digitally delivered. So these might be things that you want to consider right away if you need to build an early income stream. If you're early in platform developing and you want to do some of these things, they might help you monetize early, but they can also be things that you do long term. So let me wrap this up and just kind of throw a few thoughts out there for us, a few questions for us as we finish up. What sources of income do you plan to develop? I just gave you my list of 10. I gave you a list of 10. There might even be a few others we could add to that list, but those are the main things that people who are developing online platforms, those are the main categories that they start to explore. And so of those categories, what sources of income do you plan to develop? Can you think of two that you would like to focus on initially? Maybe I could even ask this. Do you already have a few in place? Some of you listening or watching may have a few in place already, and you're starting to wonder if maybe it's time to add an additional option. That might be something worth doing or thinking about. Let me just encourage you today to say, future you is going to be glad if present day you starts focusing on a couple of these things. So pick one or two to start. or one or two to add to what you're currently offering, and then remain focused on them long enough for them to gain traction and for them to succeed. Because if you could stay focused on it long enough, it's going to produce a great result over time, especially if you're producing content that is genuinely encouraging, genuinely inspiring, genuinely helpful to the audience that's seeking your help. Now, before we finish up tonight, I just want to recommend to you that if you're looking to develop an online platform, you're not really sure where to start, you could head over to platformlaunchers.com. We have our launch plan course. You're welcome to take a look at that. Presently, we're offering a coupon. You can see it right on the website that takes immediately, right when you check out, it takes $100 off the price of the course immediately right there at the checkout on the website. Just head over to platformlaunchers.com and you can see our launch plan course over there. You can also see an option to join our members club. And our members club is a weekly coaching community that we host together. We get together every Tuesday evening at 8 o'clock Eastern time. And we record the podcast together. We celebrate our wins together. We have our members only Q&A together. It's a lot of fun. And you can take a 2-week test drive of that if you'd like. And it's absolutely free to take that test drive. Just head over to platformlaunchers.com and sign up for that. And we would love to see you here in our members club. You also get access to the full 60-minute video replays of all our previous training. We have a very robust training vault, but I would say even better than that is the fact that you get to become connected with a wonderful group of message-based entrepreneurs who are doing a fantastic job in a variety of fields. And it's really cool to see how our members club has really become active in supporting and encouraging one another. That's probably my favorite thing that I have seen since Platform Launchers began, just that community that's really been developing over time. But that's it for us this week. Thanks again for checking out our podcast and our website and all the things we have going on. And we look forward to catching up with you again right here next time.